Alright, hello, we are here with break 350. Our third break for 25 traders. Only just sold out this morning, so getting it done nice and quick. If 351 is sold out, we can do that one tomorrow. We listed at 352 and 353 this morning as well. We obviously made it safe through the cyclone or ex-tropical cyclone, whatever we're calling it now. A lot of damage around the area, plenty of water sitting around. Local post office is shut. We sent out an email and put a post up on Facebook letting everyone know, so we'll get the packages that we've packed over the weekend out as soon as possible. Just a reminder, most of the pre-sales are already gone. They were gone last week before it hit. Albums still haven't arrived. Once they arrive, we'll get them sent out as quick as possible. So, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you to everyone for the well wishes and checking in on us. That's always appreciated. We feel the love. So, yeah, all right. We did kick off a bit early because I noticed someone had been sitting here waiting for a little while, so I thought I'd kick it off and say hello. Our team list for today. Hang on. I've got my screen too small. I can't fit it all in. Broncos, Nathan Seal. Raiders, Gavin Wortley. Bulldogs, William Goodger. Sharks, Scott Crimo. Dolphins, Aaron Livingston. Titans, Trent Kinnersley. Manly, Craig Milson. Storm, Matt Bennett. Knights, Jai Thornton. Cowboys, Josh Ellis. Eels, Joel McLennan. Panthers, Jai Thornton. Rabbitohs, Terry Cadman. Dragons, Matthew Brown. Roosters, William Goodger. Warriors, Peter Lowe. Tigers, Dylan Cameron. Matt Bennett, if you're watching, I did tag Sarah. I think she's your wife. I couldn't tag you in the group, but she popped up when I was trying to, so I tagged her hoping that you got it. Alright, if not Sarah, if I tagged you and you've got nothing to do with Matt, also sorry to you. But yeah, here we go, guys. Let's get stuck into our starters. We do have our priority box, which we do last. Our case is hiding at the back there. Let's get the starter packs open, find out who's scoring some nice bonus cards. And then we'll get into the retail packets that are inside of them. If you've watched the first two, that's what we're going to do. And if you're just looking, not sure whether you want to be a part of the group breaks, after you finish watching, I suggest you go and have a look at the FAQ page. It explains it in a bit more detail, so you understand what's going on a bit more. It's pretty easy. Once you work it all out. And welcome to those that are just watching. Right, they're all out, all done. 20 starter packs. Get that out of the way. Got our sleeves ready. Let's go. In the bronze, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. In the titanium, number 5, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. In the bronze, Palami Kickout for the Bulldogs. In the bronze, Luke Brooks for Manly. bronze, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck for the Warriors. In the silver, number 8, almost Nathan Cleary. Almost jersey. In the gold, number 20, Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. In the silver, 191, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. In the bronze, header card, so that'll get randomized at the end between all 17 spots. In the bronze, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. In the silver, no, titanium, sorry. Number 22, David Fafita for Titans. In the gold, number 7, Ryan Pappenhausen for Storm. Tipping comp, guys. I was locked out. I couldn't get back in. I did figure it out this morning, trying to get in to do the winner. And then once I figured out how to get in, I actually forgot to do the winner. So I will be doing that after the break is finished. Patrick Carrigan for the silver, 104. If you are having trouble getting in because you use your Facebook login, use the email that your Facebook is attached to log in, and you may have to reset your password for NRL.com. And that will get you in. And if it's the same account that you used last year, you'll automatically have an invite for the tipping comp. And if you haven't joined, make sure you do. There's a $50 gift card up for grabs each week. Doesn't matter where you're coming overall, it's based on each round. There's a few places you can find the information on our FAQ page on the website. There's a couple of posts on the page and in the Facebook group. In the gold, Herbie Farnworth for the Dolphins, number 43. I didn't get me tips in because I didn't figure out how to get in again after I set it up until today. Luciano Leilua, bronze for the Dragons. Nico Hines in the bronze for the Sharks. 4 packets left. In the silver, number 13, header card. We have 2 header cards from the starter packs to randomise this afternoon. All right. Number 64 in the silver, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Two star packs left. In the bronze, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. In the bronze, David Fafita for the Titans. No thanks. Yeah, we all survived quite well. Dad got a bit worried last night that the water might have made it to the cards, so he moved a few things, but everything was fine in the end. My brother lost a bit of power around the corner. I lost the internet yesterday. Other than that, we all survived really well, so touch wood, thank God. Well, yeah, whoever. But, yeah, so... Well, that's it. Our problem is it's not us that's affected, it's everyone else around us. So, luckily I haven't actually heard of anyone that we know that have suffered any damage or any major damage. It's just been power outages. But seen plenty of damage around, so yeah. Rising Stars, Max Plath for the Dolphins. Elam Lukey, parallel for the Cowboys. Showcase, Luke Brooks for Manly. Ethan Strange, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Benjamin for the Broncos. Dylan Brown, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Ethan for Manly. Jaden Sewer, parallel for Dragons. Jaden Campbell, season to remember for the Titans. Xavier Coates, parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, Lachlan and Galvin for the Tigers. G'day Lee. Victor Radley, parallel for Roosters. Sorry, Matt. Rising Stars, Joe Chan for Storm. Jackson Ford, parallel for Warriors. Fan phase, Ruben Cotter for the Cowboys. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Alex Johnston, season to remember for the Rabbitohs. Titans, parallel checklist. I was just trying to be nice. Rising Stars, Elia Nasio for the Roosters. Jamal Fogarty, parallel for the Raiders. Showcase, a Roger Tuivasa Sheck for the Warriors. Jai Arrow, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Thank you, Lee. Fan faves, a Roger Tuivasa Sheck for the Warriors. I did too. Much appreciated. Ruben Cotter, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Jocelyn Keller for the Roosters. Sharks, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Kai Pierce-Paul, parallel for the Knights. The Converters, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Justin Olam, parallel for the Tigers. Fan Phase, Alex 12 for the Tigers. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Zali Faye for the Eels. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Season to remember, Kira Dibb for the Cowboys. Stephen Crichton, parallel for Panthers. The Converters, Sam Walker for Roosters. Murray Talagi, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Bobby Law for the Dragons. KO Weeks, parallel for the Raiders. Did I do something wrong? I think I got that one right. Rising Stars, or did I say something different? Sorry. Josiah Kapani for the Broncos. Joel Fangawi, parallel for the Eels. I did. The Converters, Zahara Tamara for the Raiders. Walami Kickout, parallel for Bulldogs. I thought that's what you were talking about. That's what distracted me. Isaac Tago, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Charlie Geimer for the Eels. Selwyn Cobbo, parallel for the Broncos. Fan Phase, KO Weeks for the Raiders. Nick Meaney, parallel for the Storm. I was reading Bulldogs and almost said Bulldogs then. Rising Stars for the Bulldogs. Jaden Campbell, parallel for Titans. Season to remember, Anessa Biddle for the Sharks. G'day William. Jacob Little, parallel for the Dragons. Jumping in to get it done, mate. Good work. Love your work. Rising Stars, Peter for the Rabbitohs. Scott Sorensen, parallel for the Panthers. Women's NRL Raiders Checklist. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Maverick Gaia for the Panthers. Eliza Katoa, parallel for Storm. Converters, Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Leo Thompson, parallel for the Knights. Signature team number 29 for the Cowboys, Jakaya Whitfield. I honestly couldn't have told you, which I am bad for, but I do know that he's not Jakaya Whitfield. I think Jared Reeves was the first one I seen comment about it. Thomas Hazelton, parallel for the Sharks. Club Heroes, Jacob Laban for the Warriors. Phoenix Crossland, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Liam Ison for the Sharks. Adam Dewey, parallel for Tigers. Rising Stars, Lazarus for the Storm. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, parallel for the Warriors. Showcase, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Katoni Staggs, parallel for Broncos. Fan faves, Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs. Alfiana Kampi era, parallel for Titans. Rising Stars, Jacob Laban for the Warriors. Herbie Farmworth, parallel for Dolphins. Season to remember, Stacey Wacker for the Broncos. Tommy Talau, parallel for Manly. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Women's NRL, Shannon Mato for the Titans. Spencer Lenu, parallel for the Roosters. Moses Leota, parallel for Panthers. Club Heroes, Isaiah Yeo for Panthers. Jermaine Hopgood, parallel for the Eels. Season to remember, Zach Lomax for the Dragons. Jeremy Marshall King, parallel for Dolphins. Fan phase, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Manly parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Lily Ann White for the Knights. Davida Tatala, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Season to remember, Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Mitchell Moses parallel for the Eels. Fan Faves, Herbie Farmworth for Dolphins. Max King parallel for the Bulldogs. Showcase Lindsay Collins for the Roosters. Mitchell Barnett parallel for the Warriors. Broncos parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Dimitri for the Warriors. Hammer parallel for the Dolphins. There we go. 3, 6, 9th packet left out of the starter pack. Fan Faves, Jake Trbojevic for Manly. Charlie Staines parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Jesse Ramian parallel for the Sharks. Club Heroes, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Payne Haas parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Tamika Upton for the Knights. Dominic Young parallel for the Roosters. Fan Faves, Jacob Preston for the Bulldogs. Big Tino parallel for the Titans. Get on such a roll, and then one just stuffs you right up. Tony Francis, Rising Stars for the Titans. Connor Tracy parallel for the Bulldogs. Getting a bit tall. A couple more packets, and we'll just shift that to the back. I did forget to grab an empty box. That's alright. Rising Stars, Lycan King Togia for the Dragons. Luke Brooks parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Alifiana Kampi era for Titans. Harry Grant parallel for Storm. Retirements, David Nofaluma for the Tigers. Oh, it's a Storm. I was going to say, I thought he was into all 3 Tigers jerseys. Doesn't happen very often. Jack Bostock parallel for the Dolphins. And that's it for our starter packs, guys. Let me just move these out of the way. Alright, let's find out who's scoring today's case card. We are Number 28, Isaac Liu for the Titans. And we got the Titans, Trent Kinsley, congratulations. Alright, let's get these out. Worked out they fit better if we go that way. Alright, that's all them. I'll get that out of our way till we're finished. Shift these back down here. And let's go. Box number 1. So remembering they are retail packets we just opened out of the hobby starter packs. This is titanium. We have our gold parallels, which are numbered. We have our team fan faves. We have the converter parallels. They are all in, as well as the black authentics. Things like that are only in titanium, and priority, which is also labeled titanium. Women's NRL Dragons Checklist. Charlie Staines parallel for the Tigers. Club Heroes Keanu Kenny for the Titans. Sharks parallel checklist. Rising Stars Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Kai Pierce Paul parallel for the Knights. Season to remember, Kira Dibb for the Cowboys. Jacob Little parallel for the Dragons. Fan faves, Alex Twal for the Tigers. Nick Meaney parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars for the Bulldogs. Jaden Campbell parallel for the Titans. Actually, alright. I had a moment where all my fingers were a bit sore, and it wasn't actually from opening. It just come out of nowhere. It might have been from opening, just delayed. But yeah, Elsie Albert, Club Heroes for the Eels. Tommy Talau parallel for Manly. I remember the first packets I tried to open with Dad, and I think he's still quicker at opening than I am. No doubt, to be honest. But trying to keep up with him at first, not realising, I was struggling. Showcase Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Mitchell Barnett parallel for the Warriors. Retirements, Dale Finucane for the Sharks. Broncos parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Peter for the Rabbitohs. Scott Sorensen parallel for Panthers. The Converters, Rachel Pearson for the Eels. Mitchell Moses parallel for the Eels. Funny thing is, I was actually trying to open a case this morning before we went live, but doing bits and pieces got distracted and only got, what did we get, 4 boxes in, so not very far. But I've opened them into stacks ready for sorting. Women's NRL, Arlie Brigginshaw for the Broncos. Max King parallel for the Bulldogs. I think it's just conditioning. After the first 2 releases, helping out, working here, you are pretty well conditioned. James Tedesco fan phase for the Roosters. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Broncos gold parallel number 75 checklist. Rising Stars Jacob 11 for the Warriors. Herbie Farmworth parallel for the Dolphins. Fan Faves Dragons team. Yeah, I used to be a Friggy by trade, so I fully understand that. Rising Stars Lachlan Galvin for the Tigers. Victor Radley parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Stacey Awaka for the Broncos. Murray Talagi parallel for Cowboys. Fan phase Jake Jaboyevich for Manly. KO Weeks parallel for Raiders. Rising Stars Lily Ann White for the Knights. Tavita Tatala parallel for the Rabbitohs. Jared Herrera-Hargreaves, season to remember for the Roosters. Leo Thompson, parallel for the Knights. Fan faves, the Hammer for Dolphins. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Maverick Gaia for the Panthers. Eliza Katoa, parallel for the Storm. Oh, excuse me. Showcase, Tommy Dearden for the Cowboys. Titans parallel checklist. Gold Chasers, Zahara Tamara for the Raiders. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Charlie Geimer for the Eels. Selwyn Cobbo, parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Ben Hunt for the Dragons. Moses Leota, parallel for Panthers. Fan faves, Julia Robinson for the Broncos. Jermaine Hopgood, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Tony Francis for Titans. Connor Tracy, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. The Converters, Jamal Fogarty for the Raiders. Dominic Young, parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Jessica Elliston for the Titans. Ruben Cotter, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Alaya Nasio for the Roosters. Jamal Fogarty, parallel for the Raiders. Season to remember, Alafiana Kamki era for Titans. Jai Arrow, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Fan faves, Jacob Preston for the Bulldogs. Jack Bostock, parallel for the Dolphins. Season to remember, Addo Carr for the Bulldogs. Ethan Strange, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Lycan for the Dragons. Luke Brooks, parallel for Manly. Last packet for our first box. Women's Gold parallel, Olivia Koenig for the Roosters, number 23. We got Liam Goodger. Alright, Justin Olam parallel for the Tigers to finish us off. Box number 1. Just to let everyone know too, just because the post office is shut doesn't mean Dad's not packing the orders. Those orders are still getting packed, so as soon as the post office is open, they will be out. I just noticed him off to the side doing that at the moment, so I thought I would remind everyone. We are still full operational here. Well, that's it. That's out of our control. We're doing everything we can on our end. Women's NRL, Georgia Roach for the Knights. Dolphins parallel checklist list. Rising Stars, Harry Hayes for the Bulldogs. And tackling machines. Where we got number 120, Jake Dvojevic for Manly. That's an awesome looking picture. Impact. It looks awesome. I don't know if you can see that on there. I'm sure you can have a look on the website if you haven't seen one. But yeah, that's a good picture. I like that one. Milwaukee, Photowaika, parallel for the Titans. Just seen a lot of comments on images reused and that. I don't think I've seen that one before, and I really like that one. Clint Gutherson, season to remember for the Eels. You just see Jake Dvojevic's face in the impact. It's Chance Nico Cockstad, parallel for the Warriors. Fan faves, Josh King for Storm. One of the better ones, yeah. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. I've seen someone post a heap of Mitchell Moses cards all put together. Rising Stars, Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs. Liam Martin, parallel for Panthers. Club Heroes, Saratoga Tukey for the Tigers. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. The Converters, Jaden Campbell for Titans. Sean Lane, parallel for Eels. Women's NRL, Emma Tony Gato for the Sharks. Jacob Carraz, parallel for the Bulldogs. Trey Fuller, season to remember for the Dolphins. Stephen Crichton, parallel for Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Evie McGrath for the Tigers. Roosters, parallel checklist. Season to remember, Tamir Martin for the Warriors. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Ethan King for the Roosters. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. Tegan Berry, fan faves for the Dragons. Morgan Smithies, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Kai Pearce-Paul for the Knights. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Max Plath for the Dolphins. Elam Lukey, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's Gold, parallel, number 26. Lauren Brown for the Titans. Storm, parallel checklist. Showcase Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. Luciano Leilua, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Lily Peacock for the Cowboys. Bradman Best, parallel for the Knights. Fan phase, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Ronaldo Mulatalo, parallel for the Sharks. Converters Gold, Apsai Coruscant for the Tigers. Felice Kafusi, parallel for the Dolphins. Club Heroes, dry grey for the Rabbitohs. Amali Olika R2, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Samuel Stonestreet for the Sharks. Tigers parallel checklist. Fan faves, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Jason Taumalolo parallel for the Cowboys. Season to remember, Cameron Munster for the Storm. William Kennedy parallel for the Sharks. Fan faves, Will Penasini for the Eels. Dylan Lucas parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Caleb Nevale for Manly. Raymond Faitala Mariner parallel for the Dragons. Fan phase, Thomas Hazelton for the Sharks. Angus Crichton parallel for the Roosters. Showcase a group card, so that's 3 group cards we need to randomise this afternoon. Harry Grant parallel for the Storm. Fan phase in the team for the Titans. Big Tino parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Joe Chan for Storm. Jackson Ford parallel for the Warriors. The Converters, Jocelyn Keller for the Roosters. Payne Haas parallel for the Broncos. 5th last packet for our second box. Season to remember, Adam Dewey for the Tigers. Lachlan Galvin parallel for the Tigers. Season to remember, Jamal Fogarty for the Raiders. Connor Watson parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Mackenzie Wheel for the Cowboys. Nathan Cleary parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Benjamin for the Broncos. Dylan Brown parallel for the Eels. Lucky last for the box. Gold parallel. Number 12. Herbie Farnworth for the Dolphins. Rising Stars, Sione Finau for the Dragons. And Daly Cherry Evans parallel for Manly. Fit them in there. Box number 3. Let's go. Fan phase in the team for the Eels. Cameron Munster, parallel for Storm. Club Heroes, Liam Henry for Panthers. David Fafita, parallel for Titans. Gold Converters, Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Harrison Edwards for the Cowboys. Greg Marzu, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars for Storm. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Herbie Farnworth, season to remember for the Dolphins. Ezra Mam, parallel for Broncos. Fan faves, Tiana Penatani for the Sharks. Isaiah Yeo, parallel for Panthers. Women's Gold, Eels Checklist, number 36. Rising Stars for the Broncos, Skylar Adams. Micah Sivo, parallel for the Eels. Fan faves, Greg Marzu for the Knights. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Showcase, Luke Brooks for Manly. Bulldogs, parallel checklist. Retirements, Brad Parker for Manly. Lindsay Collins, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Oren Keeley for Dolphins. Tommy Dearden, parallel for the Cowboys. The Converters, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Xavier Savage, parallel for Raiders. Women's NRL, Taylor Preston for the Sharks. Cody Walker, parallel for Rabbitohs. Rising Stars for the Warriors. Max Plath, parallel for Dolphins. Season to remember, Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Lachlan Galvin, season to remember for the Tigers. Apasai Coruscant, parallel for the Tigers. Fan faves, Connor Watson for the Roosters. Alex Seaforth for the Tigers. I think that's right. Looks right. Rising Stars, Grace Kemp for the Raiders. Parallel, Brighton Nakora for the Sharks. Season to remember, Regan Campbell-Gillard for the Eels. Tamir Martin, parallel for the Warriors. Fan phase, Harry Grant for the Storm. Dean Mariner, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Dion for the Rabbitohs. Brian Totter, parallel for Panthers. Showcase, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Eels, parallel checklist. Gold parallels, number 6. Dallin Watine Zalesniak for the Warriors. Parallel, Reed Marnie for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars for the Tigers. Sam Walker, parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Taryn Aiken for the Roosters. Ryan Pappenhausen, parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, Bailey Haywood for the Bulldogs. Jojo Fafita, parallel for the Titans. Season to remember, Tane for the Warriors. Reese Robson, parallel for the Cowboys. Fan faves, Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbitohs. The Converters, Ruben Garrick for Manly. Isaiah Katoa, parallel for the Dolphins. Club Heroes, Julia Robinson for the Broncos. Jack DeBellin, parallel for the Dragons. Women's NRL, Yasmin Clydesdale for the Knights. Toltor Koala, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Georgia Hanaway for the Sharks. Dream Buller, parallel for the Tigers. Season to remember, Xavier Coates for the Storm. Blake Brayley, parallel for the Sharks. Overall, I like it. The quality of the cards are good, which has been consistent over the last couple of years. I remember Traders, when I originally started, was always a bit thinner and flimsy compared to Elite, but yeah, I think they've definitely come a long way as far as that goes. As we all know, some of the pictures are reused, but other than that, some of the designs I like. You got tackling machines where they've reused that same sort of pattern, but it's still a nice card as long as you don't compare it to that sort of thing. Fan fave, something new, talking about them because they come up, but yeah, I quite like that design. There's quite a few designs within the series that I like. I think overall, even though it is a priority, my favorite has to be the Gold Converters Priority Parallel. Just with the squiggles in it, I think it, yeah. Fan faves, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Knights Parallel Checklist. I was into the Priority Club Heroes at first. I thought they were one of my favourites, but I definitely think Converters has become my favourite. And the Club Heroes in general, they're a nice looking. And the Legends, I think that's a good consistency as well, those two. Hopewade, Rising Stars for Manly, Tackling Machines, Sophie Holloman for the Raiders. And here's all the cut variations. 72. Yes, Mum will have that discussion with you quite happily. Tyrell Sloan, parallel for the Dragons. Alright. Box number 4. The Converters, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Women's NRL, Isabel Kelly for the Roosters. Dylan Lucas, parallel for Knights. Season to remember, Kyle Felt for the Cowboys. Parallel, Luciano Leilua for the Dragons. Fan faves, Sarah Togatuki for the Tigers. Storm parallel checklist. Gold parallel, number 25, Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Harry Hayes for the Bulldogs. Mawaki Fotowaka, parallel for the Titans. Club Heroes, Blake Moser for the Broncos. Chance Nicole Clockstad, parallel for the Warriors. Women's NRL, Holly May Dodd for the Raiders. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. Fan faves in the team for the Knights. Rising Stars, Caleb Naval for Manly. Raymond Faitala Mariner, parallel for Dragons. Gotta love a 3-card. 3-hit pack. Season to remember, David Armstrong for the Knights. Harry Grant, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs. Liam Martin, parallel for Panthers. Season to remember, Katoni Staggs for the Broncos. Sean Lane, parallel for Eels. Fan faves, Tommy Turbo for Manly. Jacob Carraz, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Evie McGrath for the Tigers. Roosters, parallel checklist. Showcase David Fafita for the Titans. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for Cowboys. Season to remember, Dale Finucane for the Sharks. Stephen Crichton, parallel for the Bulldogs. Showcase Lindsay Collins for the Roosters. Ethan Strange, parallel for the Raiders. Fan phase, Tohu Harris for the Warriors. Big Tino, parallel for the Titans. Converters Gold, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Jacob for the Warriors. Herbie Farmworth parallel for the Dolphins. Women's Gold, 149. Sophie Hollyman for the Raiders. Morgan Smithies, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Kai Pearce-Paul for the Knights. And Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Season to remember, Jai Arrow for the Rabbitohs. Felice Kafusi, parallel for the Dolphins. Tom Dearden, fan phase for the Cowboys. Molly Olaka-Atu, parallel for Manly. Converters, Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Tommy Talau, parallel for Manly. Women's NRL, Hannah Southwell for the Knights. Charlie Staines, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Joe Chan for Storm. Jackson Ford, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. Season to remember, DCE for Manly. Leo Thompson, parallel for the Knights. Fan phase, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Maverick Gaia for Panthers. Eliza Katoa, parallel for Storm. Club Heroes, Joseph Tarpanay for the Raiders. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Fifth last packet in our fourth box. Rising Stars, Benjamin Takura for Broncos. Dylan Brown, parallel for the Eels. White Authentics, number 25, Madison Bartlett for the Raiders. Payne Haas, parallel for the Broncos. Fan faves, Mackenzie Wiki for the Raiders. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Samuel Stonestreet for the Sharks. Tigers, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Max Plath for the Dolphins. Parallel Helam Luki for the Cowboys. And that finishes off box number 4. Let's get straight into box number 5. Fan faves, KO Weeks for the Raiders. Spencer Linu, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Jack Bostock for the Dolphins. Cowboys, Parallel Checklist. Converters, Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. Joseph Tarpanay, Parallel for the Raiders. Women's NRL Eels Checklist. Jack White and Parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Dimitri for the Warriors. The Hammer, Parallel for Dolphins. Season to Remember, Tommy Turbo for Manly. Tommy Turbo, Parallel for Manly. Fan Faves, Dylan Edwards for Panthers. Samula, Parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Chevy Stewart for the Raiders. Nico Hines, Parallel for the Sharks. NRL W Premiership Predictor number 40 for the Bulldogs. Dane Gagai, Parallel for the Knights. Club Heroes, Kale Hero for the Sharks. Dragons Parallel Checklist. Season to Remember, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Keanu Kinney, Parallel for Titans. Season to Remember, Anessa Biddle for the Sharks. Balami Kickout, Parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to Remember, Hudson Young for the Raiders. Keon Kolomatangi, Parallel for the Rabbitohs. Fan Faves, Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Jermaine Isako, Parallel for Dolphins. Rising Stars, Casey Array for the Dragons. Ruben Garrick, Parallel for Manly. Season to Remember, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Jeremy Marshall King, Parallel for the Dolphins. Fan Faves, Ruben Cotter for the Cowboys. Manly, Parallel Checklist. Rising Stars, Liam Eason for the Sharks. Adam Dewey, Parallel for the Tigers. Club Heroes, Jerome Hughes for Storm. Thomas Hazelton parallel for the Sharks. Fan phase in the team for Tigers. Isaac Tago parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Josiah for the Broncos. Joe Offengowie parallel for the Eels. Fan phase, Jamie Chapman for Titans. Dallin Martin-Zelezniak for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Rory Owen for the Eels. Reece Welsh parallel for the Broncos. Showcase, Luciano Leilua for the Dragons. Panthers parallel checklist. Gold parallel, number 28. Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Will Penasini parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Josiah for the Titans. Matt Burton parallel for Bulldogs. Converters, Jesse Southwell for the Knights. James Tedesco parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Sophie Holliman for the Raiders. Scott Drinkwater parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Blake Steep for the Roosters. Raiders parallel checklist. Converters in the gold, Sam Walker for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Liam Henry for Panthers. Parallel, Trent LaRoe for Storm. Women's NRL, Lasana Lutu for the Tigers. Phoenix Crossland parallel for Knights. Gold Women's, 155, Gail Broughton for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Ethan for Manly. Jaden Sewer parallel for the Dragons. We got 4 packets left for the box. Season to remember, Tamika Upton for the Knights. Xavier Coates parallel for Storm. Fan faves, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck for the Warriors. Alefiana Kampi error parallel for Titans. Rising Stars, Lazarus for Storm. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck parallel for the Warriors. Last packet for box number 5. Showcase Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Tony Staggs parallel for Broncos. And that's it for the box. Let's go. Oh, could have grabbed that one, but anyway. Box number 6. Women's Gold, Madison Bartlett for the Raiders, number 193. Rising Stars, Lachlan Galvin for the Tigers. And Victor Radley parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Sean Johnson for the Warriors. Murray Talagi parallel for the Cowboys. Fan faves, Blake Laurie for the Dragons. KO Weeks parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Lily Ann White for the Knights. Tavita Totola parallel for the Rabbitohs. Season to remember, the Hammer for the Dolphins. Tony Staggs parallel for Broncos. Fan faves, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Isaac Tago parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Lazarus for Storm. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck parallel for the Warriors. Fan faves, Kennedy Sherrington for the Eels. Phoenix Crossland parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Ethan for Manly. Jaden Stewart parallel for the Dragons. Fan faves, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Broncos parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Peter for the Rabbitohs. Scott Sorensen, parallel for Panthers. Club Heroes, James Tedesco for the Roosters. Mitchell Moses, parallel for the Eels. Women's NRL, Madison Bartlett for the Raiders. Max King, parallel for the Bulldogs. Women's NRL, Olivia Koenig for the Roosters. Alifiana Campiera, parallel for Titans. Converters, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Xavier Coates, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Josiah for the Broncos. Joe Offengowie, parallel for the Eels. Oh, another Legends. Number 25. Wayne Pearce. So that will be randomized between all 17 spots. Nice. Valami Kikau, parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to remember, Zali Faye for the Eels. Mitchell Barnett, parallel for the Warriors. Club Heroes, Valami Kikau for the Bulldogs. Spencer Leonard, parallel for the Roosters. Jerome Hughes, season to remember for the Storm. Thomas Hazelton, parallel for the Sharks. Converters, Jermaine Isako for the Dolphins. Jack Bostock, Rising Stars for Dolphins. Cowboys, parallel checklist. Season to remember, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Joseph Sarpane, parallel for the Raiders. Fan faves, Jessica Surges for the Roosters. Jack Whiten, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Dimitri for the Warriors. The Hammer parallel for Dolphins. Showcase Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. Parallel Tommy Turbo for Manly. Rising Stars, Liam Eason for the Sharks. Adam Dewey, parallel for the Tigers. Gold parallel Titans checklist. Number 27. Parallel Samula for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Sherry Stewart for Raiders. Get it out. Nico Hines, parallel for Sharks. Still pretty excited after hitting that Wayne Pearce. That's our second one in 3 breaks. Lauren Brown, the converters for the Titans, and we hit a team signature already. Dane Gagai, parallel for the Knights, big break. Fan phase in the team for the Roosters. Manly parallel checklist. Women's NRL, Jessie Southwell for the Knights Dragons parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Liam Henry for Panthers. Trent LaRoe parallel for Storm. 4 packets left, and I'm just going to jump up and grab a quick drink, guys. I find it just helps me refresh for the second half of the break. Daniel Tupou, season to remember for the Roosters. Keanu Kinney, parallel for the Titans. Don't go anywhere, I will not be long. Fan phase, Herbie Farnworth for the Dolphins. Dylan Martin Zalesniak, parallel for the Warriors. 2 packets to go. Rising Stars, Rory Owen for the Eels. Reece Walsh, parallel for the Broncos. Showcase, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Jeremy Marshall King, parallel for the Dolphins. Alright guys, I will be back in a couple of minutes. I won't be very long, I promise. I'll see you again in a sec. Alright. Tidy these ones up. Bring our chat back up and our team list. What do you got? 2 spots in it, William? I think you've got, oh no, Drive's got a couple of spots as well. I was going to say, I think you got the best odds. Alright, box number 7. Should be careful showing this. A little bit disgraceful yesterday. Anyway, let's go. Women's NRL, Azali Faye for the Eels. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Fletcher Sharp for the Knights. Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Moala for the Warriors. Max Plath, parallel for the Dolphins. Season to remember, Tommy Talau for Manly. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Fan faves, Brian To'o for Panthers. Alex Seifert, parallel for the Tigers. Club Heroes, Bailey Haywood for the Bulldogs. Reece Robson, parallel for Cowboys. Converters Gold, parallel, Lauren Brown for the Titans. Rising Stars, Grace Kemp for the Raiders. Oh, Brighton Nakora, parallel for the Sharks. Showcase, Roger Tuivasa Sheck for the Warriors. Kalen Ponga, parallel for the Knights. Retirements, Kyle Felt for the Cowboys. Parallel, Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. Gold parallel in the women's, number 36. Tegan Berry for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Samula for the Tigers. Sam Walker, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Casey McLean for Panthers. Jerome Hughes, parallel for Storm. Converters, Nick Meaney for Storm. Alexander Brimson, parallel for Titans. Jocelyn Keller, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Warriors, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Dan Kerr for the Eels. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for Broncos. Fan faves, Molly Olika R2 for Manly. Reed Marnie, parallel for Bulldogs. Season to remember, Sanua Taruva for Panthers. Dylan Edwards, parallel for Panthers. Fan faves, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Leilani for the Titans. Jacob Preston, parallel for the Bulldogs. Fan faves, Jakaya Whitfield for the Cowboys. Tolatoa Koala, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Georgia Hanaway for the Sharks. Dream Buller, parallel for the Tigers. Showcase, Herbie Farmworth for the Dolphins. Blake Brayley, parallel for the Sharks. Gold parallel, Charlie Staines for the Tigers, number 76. Knights parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Hopper Blase for Manly. Tyrell Sloan, parallel for the Dragons. Season to remember, Bradman Best for the Knights. Cameron Munster, parallel for Storm. Season to remember, Jock Madden for the Broncos. Eels parallel checklist. Fan phase, Dallin Martin Zalesniak for the Warriors. David Fafita, parallel for Titans. Rising Stars for the Storm. Tohu Harris, parallel for Warriors. Converters, Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. Ezra Mann, parallel for the Broncos. Women's NRL, Canberra Raiders. Isaiah Yeo, parallel for the Panthers. Season to remember, Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Isaiah Katoa, parallel for Dolphins. Rising Stars, Skylar Adams for the Broncos. Micah Sivo, parallel for the Eels. Season to remember, Renato Mulatalo for the Sharks. Bulldogs, parallel checklist. Fan phase, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Lindsay Collins, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Oren Keeley for the Dolphins. Tommy Dearden, parallel for the Cowboys. 2 packets left. Fan phase in the team for Manly. Xavier Savage, parallel for the Raiders. Last packet out of box number 7. Club Heroes, Fletcher Sharp for the Knights, and Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Let's get these out of here. There we go. Alright, box number 8. Almost 2/3 of the way through the case. Alright, let's go. Rising Stars, Josiah for the Broncos. Joe Offengowie, parallel for the Eels. Club Heroes, Alexis and Angelina for the Dragons. Salami Kickout, parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to remember, Zach Lomax for the Dragons. Panthers, parallel checklist. Patrick Carrigan, fan faves for the Broncos. Will Penasini, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Josiah for the Titans. Matt Burton, parallel for the Bulldogs. Gold parallel. Number 82. Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Teddy for the Roosters. Parallel. Club Heroes, Connor Watson for the Roosters. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Blake Steep for the Roosters. Raiders, parallel checklist. Fan faves, Jessica Surgis for the Roosters. Jack Whiten, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Dimitri for the Warriors. The Hammer, parallel for Dolphins. Showcase, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. Fan faves in the team for the Raiders. Samula, parallel for Tigers. Rising Stars, Chevy Stewart for the Raiders. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. Fan fave, Stephen Crichton for the Bulldogs. Jermaine Isako, parallel for Dolphins. Rising Stars, Casey Ray for the Dragons. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Daniel Tupou for the Roosters. Dane Gagai, parallel for the Knights. Herbie Farnworth, fan faves for the Dolphins, Dragons, parallel checklist. In the gold for the women, number 115, Sharks checklist. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Sorry, I was looking at it and being so close to full it was annoying me. Just fill it up and get rid of it. Rising Stars, Harrison Edwards for the Cowboys. Greg Marsu, parallel for the Knights. The Converters, Pauline Razabel for the Tigers. Jack DeBellin, parallel for the Dragons. Women's NRL, Rakia Horn for the Tigers. Ryan Pappenhausen, parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, Bailey Haywood for the Bulldogs. Jojo Fafita, parallel for Titans. Season to remember, Chad Townsend for the Cowboys. Taman Martin, parallel for Warriors. Van Faze, Dream Buller for the Tigers. Dean Mariner, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Dion for the Rabbitohs. Brian Totter, parallel for Panthers. The Converters, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Liam Henry for Panthers. Trent Leroux, parallel for Storm. The Converters, Adam Reynolds for Broncos. Keanu Kinney, parallel for Titans. Women's NRL, Melly Hafunga for Broncos. Dallin Watine Zalesniak, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Rory Owen for the Eels. And our Black Authentics, number 11, Connor Watson for the Roosters. There you go, William. Reece Welsh, parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Keon Kolomatangi, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Showcase, Ryan Pappenhausen for Storm. One of the cards I'd be really chasing. There you go. Happy parallel for Tigers. Season to remember, the Hammer for Dolphins. Tony Staggs, parallel for the Broncos. 4 packets left for the box. Fan faves, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Isaac Tago, parallel for Panthers. Women's NRL Titans Checklist. Spencer Lanu, parallel for Roosters. Yes, mate, thank you. Still here. Rising Star, Jack Bostock for the Dolphins. Cowboys parallel checklist. Season to remember, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Joseph Tarpanay, parallel for the Raiders. And that's another box done and dusted. Alright. Box number 9. Rising Stars for Storm. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Club Heroes, Josiah for the Titans. Cameron Munster, parallel for Storm. Women's NRL, Gail Broughton for the Broncos. David Fifita, parallel for Titans. Season to remember, Herbie Farnworth for the Dolphins. Ezra Mam, parallel for Broncos. Season to remember, Alexis for the Dragons. Dylan Edwards, parallel for Panthers. Van Faves, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Knights, NRL Checklist. Van Faves, Reece Welsh for the Broncos. And nice. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for Panthers. Eels, sorry. That'll keep you busy, Alex. Just a reminder for you and everyone, the albums aren't there. They are delayed. We will send them out as soon as we get them. Rising Stars, Leilani for the Titans. Jacob Preston, parallel for the Bulldogs. Showcase, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Connor Watson, parallel for the Roosters. Retirement, Edric Lee for the Dolphins. Jason Taumalolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Nothing wrong with that, mate. The Converters, Rachel Pearson for the Eels. But if it took me that long, I wouldn't be able to do them. Rising Stars, Ethan King for the Roosters. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. The Converters, Kira Dibb for Cowboys. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Hopewade for Manly. Tyrell Sloan, parallel for the Dragons. Women's NRL, Elsie Albert for the Eels. Dolphins, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Sione for Dragons. Daly Cherry Evans, parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Jamie Chapman for the Titans. Lachlan Galvin, parallel for the Tigers. Fan faves, Reed Marnie for the Bulldogs. Renato Molitalo, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Lily Peacock for the Cowboys. Bradman Best, parallel for the Knights. Women's NRL Gold, Alasana Lutu for the Tigers, number 93. Rising Stars, Skylar Adams for the Broncos. Micah Sivo, parallel for the Eels. Showcase, Lachlan Galvin for the Tigers. Bulldogs, parallel checklist. Gold parallel, Jacob Little for the Dragons, number 50. Lindsay Collins, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Oren Keeley for the Dolphins. Tommy Dearden, parallel for the Cowboys. Season to remember, Connor Tracy for the Bulldogs. Xavier Savage, parallel for the Raiders. Fan faves, Connor Watson for the Roosters and Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Moala for the Warriors. Max Plath, parallel for the Dolphins. The Converters, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Women's NRL, Batil Vet Welsh for Tigers. Alex Seapath, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Grace Kemp for the Raiders and Brighton Nakora, parallel for the Sharks. No, I have not, Mr. Alex. Please share. Season to remember, Samantha Bremner for the Roosters. Kalen Ponga, parallel for the Knights. Fan faves, Tiana Penatani for the Sharks. Isaiah Yo, parallel for Panthers. Fan faves, Mark Nichols for the Dolphins. Tom Brady 101 was recently sold for $650,000. Kyle Flanagan, parallel for the Dragons. Other than being crazy price. What's the controversy? Rising Stars, Casey McLean for the Panthers. Yeah, right. Jerome Hughes, parallel for Storm. Okay. Here you go, Kimmy. You'll like this one.
Yep.
Tom Brady,
Yep.
1 of 1.
Yep.
Sold for 650,000. Someone made on their computer at home.
Oh. Oh my God.
Custom made job as they call.
Yeah. Fan phase in the team for the Cowboys. Alexander Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Oh, so like an NFT, it wasn't even an actual physical card. Oh.
No. That's madness.
They didn't even print it out. Yeah, right. Oh. Club Heroes, Tiana Penitani for the Sharks. They sent an empty top loader.
Oh.
Warriors parallel checklist.
Well, there's probably in Mexico by
Yeah.
now.
That's
Well, you got to buy it.
Rising Stars, Dan Kerr for the Eels. Patrick Carrigan parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Xavier Coates for Storm. Blake Brayley parallel for Sharks. Yeah, that hurt. So it was supposed to be a physical card from a 2012 release.
yeah, that's right. I don't think we can sell that to them.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, cheers. We'll give it a watch for sure. Alright, box number 10. Just proves, guys, be careful when you're buying cards. Make sure you know who you're buying from, or take precautions if not.
Like us?
Definitely, like us. I did hear that in the background. It just took me a couple of seconds to register. Fan faves, Tohu Harris for the Warriors. Big Tino parallel for Titans. I'd say if it looks too good to be true, it is true, but 650,000, that's definitely not too good to be true. That's yeah, whole nother level. Gold parallel, Helam Aluhi for the Cowboys, number 72. Rising Stars, Joe Chan for Storm. Jackson Ford parallel for the Warriors. Club Heroes, Tommy Turbo for Manly. Jermaine Hopgood parallel for the Eels. Season to remember, David Armstrong for the Knights, Harry Grant parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Tony Strange, Francis. I swear I read Strange on the front of that. Rising Stars for Titans, Connor Tracy parallel for Bulldogs. Season to remember, Madison Bartlett for the Raiders. Dominic Young parallel for the Roosters. Yeah, those values are totally another level. Silva Havili, fan faves for the Rabbitohs. Ruben Cotter parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Alaya Nazio for the Roosters. Jamal Fogarty parallel for the Raiders. I read it like that, don't worry. Showcase David Fafita for the Titans. Jai Arrow parallel for the Rabbitohs. Retirements, Elliot Whitehead for the Raiders. There we go. Elliot Whitehead's in all three Raiders jerseys. I was just saying earlier, it doesn't happen very often. Jack Bostock parallel for the Dolphins. Rising Stars, a Lycan for the Dragons. Luke Brooks parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, a Benjamin for the Broncos. Dylan Brown parallel for Eels. Man. Imagine that. 300 grand in the early 90s on a card even. Like, that's crazy. The Converters, Racine McGregor for the Dragons. Justin Olam parallel for the Tigers. Women's NRL, Rachel Pearson for the Eels. Sharks parallel checklist. Fan faves in the team for Storm. Rising Stars, Jackson Purdue for the Cowboys. Kai Pierce Paul parallel for Knights. Season to remember, Rebecca Pollard for the Tigers. Jacob a Little parallel for the Dragons. Fan faves, Yasmin Clydesdale for the Knights. Nick Meaney parallel for Storm. Rising Stars for the Bulldogs. Jaden Campbell, parallel for Titans. Fan phase, Mackenzie Wiki for the Raiders. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Max Plath for the Dolphins. Helam Aluki, parallel for the Cowboys. Showcase, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Ethan Strange, parallel for the Raiders. Converters, Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. Rabbitohs, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Jacob for the Warriors. Herbie Farmworth, parallel for the Dolphins. Season to remember, Daly Cherry Evans for Manly. Tommy Talau, parallel for Manly. Fan faves, Nathan Cleary for Panthers. Charlie Staines, parallel for Tigers. Rising Stars, Morgan Smithies for the Raiders. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. Season to remember, Dale Finucane for the Sharks. Stephen Crichton, parallel for the Bulldogs. Converters, Apasai Coruscant for Tigers. Leo Thompson, parallel for the Knights. Sarah Togatuki, Women's NRL for the Tigers. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Maverick Gaia for Panthers. Eliza Katoa, parallel for Storm. Season to remember, Isaac Tago for Panthers. Titans parallel checklist. Club Heroes, Jaden Sewer for the Dragons. Payne Huss, parallel for the Broncos. Women's NRL, Julia Robinson for the Broncos. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Alexander Brimson, fan faves for the Titans. Wade Egan, parallel for Warriors. Rising Stars, Charlie Geimer for the Eels. Selwyn Cobbo, parallel for the Broncos. Women's Gold, Rakea Horn for the Tigers, number 107. Moses Leota, parallel for Panthers to finish off the box. We only have 3 boxes to go. Reed Marnie, fan faves for the Bulldogs, Dolphins, parallel checklist. Season to remember, Samantha Bremner for the Roosters. Kalen Ponga, parallel for Knights. Fan faves, Mark Nichols for the Dolphins. Kyle Flanagan, parallel for the Dragons. Fan faves for the team, Dolphins. Rising Stars, Casey McLean for Panthers. Jerome Hughes, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Sione Finau for the Dragons. And our Dally M in the men's. Ooh, number 24 for the Broncos. Dally Cherry Evans, parallel for Manly. Club Heroes, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. AJ Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Women's NRL Cowboys checklist. Warriors parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Dan Kerr for the Eels. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Alexis for the Dragons. Dylan Edwards, parallel for Panthers. I looked at the name to see if I could pronounce it. I'm not even sure how to start. Alexis Tournaire, maybe? The Converters, Adam Pompey for the Warriors. Lachlan Galvin, parallel for the Tigers. Fan faves, Reece Welsh for Broncos. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for Eels. Rising Stars, Leilani for the Titans. Jacob Preston, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Lily Peacock for the Cowboys. Bradman Best, parallel for the Knights. Season to remember, Kyle Felt for the Cowboys. Luciano Leilua, parallel for the Dragons. Ben Faze, Saratoga Tuki for the Tigers. Storm Parallel Checklist. What cards get put on the website? All cards. Rising Stars, Harry Hayes for the Bulldogs. Mawaki Fotoaka, parallel for Titans. Basically, we constantly bust as soon as we get delivery. We are busting, sorting, and listing on the website. The Converters, Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Chance Nicole Klokstad, parallel for the Warriors. Bobby Law, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Renato Mulitalo, parallel for the Sharks. Yeah. Literally, as soon as we've got nothing to do during release time, that's what we're doing. We're opening and sorting. I didn't get much sorting done, and I didn't get much opening done because I kept getting distracted, but I managed to open 4 boxes ready to sort today. No, we don't do a break unless it's fully sold out. Club Heroes, Bree Chester for the Cowboys. If we're struggling to sell it out towards the end, we'll put up a spot raz to help it go. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs. Liam Martin, parallel for Panthers. Yeah, well, I managed to get them open. I was trying to open the whole case, but in between doing the giveaway video, listing new breaks, sending emails and that this morning, I even had to duck up the post office to see if it was open. Unfortunately, I only got 4 open. They're not even sorted yet. They're just sitting in a pile ready to be sorted once the rest are open. Jamie Chapman, season to remember for the Titans. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbitohs. I actually looked because they were on this table. I actually looked at them when I moved them, going, that's all you got done. He managed to open 4 boxes in that time. That was pitiful. Season to remember, Katoni Staggs for the Broncos. Sean Lane, parallel for Eels. Fan Faves, Tommy Turbo for Manly. Jacob Carraz, parallel for the Bulldogs. Yes. Rising Stars, Evie McGrath for the Tigers. Roosters, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Ethan King for the Roosters. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. Showcase Ryan Pappenhausen for Storm. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for Cowboys. Gold parallel. Number 52. Tommy Talau for Manly. Morgan Smithies, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Kai Pearce-Paul for the Knights. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbitohs. The Converters, Romy Titzel for the Broncos. Felice Kafusi, parallel for Dolphins. Women's Gold, number 120. Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Jason Tormalolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Shannon Mato for the Titans. Amoli Olaka-Atu, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Samuel Stonestreet for the Sharks. Tigers, parallel checklist. Alright, we've got 4 packs left for box number 11. Showcase Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Connor Watson, parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Jai Arrow for the Rabbitohs. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Fan Phase, Tommy Dearden for the Cowboys. Dylan Lucas, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Caleb for Manly, and Raymond Faitala Mariner, parallel for the Dragons. Alright, box number 12, the last box of the case, leaving the priority box after that. Let's see what it holds for us. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. Tackling machines. I think that's what we should be expecting out of this box. We got the white black team, we got the legends, we got the premiership predictor, we got the Dally M predictor. So yeah, I'm tipping a retirement or a tackling machine or both. I'm not sure if you get them in the same box. Lachlan Galvin, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Victor Radley, parallel for the Roosters. I feel like in past they're the sort of insert you get in the same box occasionally. Club Heroes, Max Plath for the Dolphins. Moses Leota, parallel for Panthers. Season to remember, Sean Johnson for the Warriors. Murray Talagi, parallel for Cowboys. Women's NRL, Quincy Dodd for the Sharks. Jermaine Hopgood parallel for the Eels. Fan faves, Blake Laurie for the Dragons. KO Weeks parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Lily Ann White for the Knights. Tavita Totola parallel for the Rabbitohs. Showcase, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Jeremy Marshall King parallel for the Dolphins. Retirements, Isaac Liu for the Titans. Pretty sure we got that out of the starter packs. Manly parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Liam Eason for the Sharks. Adam Dewey parallel for the Tigers. The Converters, Jermaine Isako for the Dolphins. Thomas Hazelton parallel for the Sharks. Stephanie Hancock, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Yeah, right. There you go. Phoenix Crossland parallel for the Knights. That's most years they do. It's the last team they play for. Rising Stars, Charlie Geimer for the Eels. That's a popular debate every release. Selwyn Cobbo parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Ethan for Manly. Jaden Sewer parallel for the Dragons. And most agree with you. Season to remember, Jerome Hughes for Storm. Xavier Coates parallel for Storm. I just read SJ and went to put that card in Warriors. Fan faves, Kennedy Sherrington for the Eels. Alefiana Campiera. Oh, excuse me. Rising Stars, Lazarus for the Storm. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck parallel for Warriors. Rising Stars, Lycan for the Dragons. Luke Brooks parallel for Manly. The Converters, Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. Yep, fully agree. Jack Bostock, parallel for the Dolphins, especially when they play for the one team their whole career and play one season at another club and then end up with that on their retirement. Fully agree, and so does majority of people, so don't worry, you're not alone. Season to remember, Madison Bartlett for the Raiders. Dominic Young, parallel for the Roosters. Fan faves for the Rabbitohs. Ruben Cotter, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Elia Nasio for the Roosters. And for anyone wondering, you do get retirements and tackling machines in the same box, because there we go. Happy Appy, number 33 for the Tigers. I thought we were still waiting for one. Jamal Fogarty, parallel for the Raiders. Showcase of Valami Kickout for the Bulldogs. Jai Arrow, parallel for Rabbitohs. Season to remember, Rebecca Pollard for Tigers. Justin Olam, parallel for the Tigers. Yes, please. Good timing. Fan faves, Yasmin Clydesdale for the Knights. Sharks parallel checklist. I heard the kettle getting filled up. I thought I'd jump in. Isaac Tago, season to remember for the Panthers. Titans parallel checklist. We're almost on our last box. Don't forget we have our Wayne Pearce Legends signature to randomize. Number 25. That will be the last one out of these cards that gets randomized. And we'll do it in the order that they come out in as they're sitting there. Kai Pearce Paul, parallel for the Knights. And lucky last, actually we'll do the $100 gift card before we do the Legends. I like leaving the Legends for last, so it come out well. The Converters, Taylor Preston for the Sharks. Jacob Little, parallel for the Dragons. Women's NRL, Kira Dibb for the Cowboys. Nick Meaney, parallel for Storm. Fan faves in the team for Panthers. Rising Stars for the Bulldogs. Jaden Campbell, parallel for Titans. Don't start going awkward now on me. Season to remember, Azali Faye for the Eels. Mitchell Barnett for the Warriors. Gold parallel, number 36. Leo Thompson for the Knights. Rising Stars, Tony Francis for the Titans. And Connor Tracy, parallel for the Bulldogs. Fan faves, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Broncos parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Peter for the Rabbitohs. Scott Sorensen parallel for Panthers. Fan faves, AJ Brimson for the Titans. Wade Egan parallel for the Warriors. Women's Gold, Jasmine Peters for the Cowboys, 144. And Mitchell Moses parallel for the Eels. Last pack for the box. Leave it up there, please. Club Heroes, Tommy Dearden for the Cowboys. Max King parallel for the Bulldogs. Alright, that's on box number 12 out of the case. We have the priority box left to go. Forgot to fill that box up. That's alright, we can fix that up in a minute. Alright, final box priority. Club Hero priority, Fan phase team priority, and the Converters Gold. As I've mentioned a few times, I think Converters Gold is definitely one of my favourite in the series. Season to remember, Jock Madden for the Broncos. Eels parallel checklist. Fan phase, Somali Olika R2 for Manly. Reed Marnie parallel for the Bulldogs. And here it is, the Converters Gold, number 12, Kyle Flanagan for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Oren Keeley for the Dolphins. Sam Walker parallel for the Roosters. Yeah, I actually like season to remember because they're different. If you look at the last few years, they're very similar in design, and they really changed it up this year. The only thing I wish they brought back for STR from previous years is the team picture on the back. But they did that as a separate card, I think, in the Elite. So, I don't know. Club Heroes in the priority, number 31, Jacob for the Warriors. Yes, Sword and Shield was a nice design last year. Reese Robson, parallel for the Cowboys. But I mean, the Sword and Shield, just like the fan faves this year. Basically the same thing with a new name and different players, obviously, which is good. I think that's one of the important things, is having different players and new concepts. But yeah, having the three and then the team, that's just changing up every year. That's good. Zali Faye, Women's NRL for the Eels. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. I'm trying to think of the one before Sword and Shield. Driving Force, there you go. Rising Stars, Grace Kemp for the Raiders. Dream Buller, parallel for the Tigers. Same sword and shield, I think, for that level of insert. They do really well. They're a nice card for what they are. Fan faves, Brian Top for Panthers. Alex Seafarth, parallel for Tigers. Gold parallel, Roosters Checklist number 34. Knights parallel checklist. Fan faves, Chakaya Whitfield for the Cowboys. Tolator Koala parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Jack Whiten for the Rabbitohs. Isaiah Katoa parallel for Dolphins. Rising Stars, Moala for the Warriors. Latrell Mitchell parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Casey McLean for Panthers. Tyrell Sloan parallel for the Dragons. Cowboys Women's NRL Checklist in the gold, 192. Rising Stars, Lily Peacock for the Cowboys. Brighton Nakora parallel for the Sharks. Season to remember, Bradman Best for the Knights. Cam Munster parallel for Storm. Yeah, I don't mind the SDR this year. They've changed up the design, as I was saying. If you go and look at the last few years, they're similar. They're not the same, they're similar. Fan faves, Dylan Matine as a Lesniak for the Warriors. Dave Fafita parallel for the Titans. And they completely changed it up this year. So I like that. Then on the opposite side of things, I like that the legends and the retirements are the same, continued throughout the years. Wouldn't want too many inserts doing that, having that exact same consistency, but having a couple like that continue on, that's, yeah. Showcase Caitlin Ponga for the Knights. Caitlin Ponga parallel for the Knights. Trying to think if they're the ones. I like to have made the commons and 9-card sets, yes. Power Heroes, yeah. To me, the Star Tunes, the Showcase, and the Power Heroes are all very similar. New name, different picture. Rising Stars, Dan Kerr for the Eels. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Yes, I believe all insert should be 9, 18, 3. But having odd numbers like 7, 11, no. The Converters, Rachel Pearson for the Eels. Ezra Mann, parallel for Broncos. Retirements, a Jordan Rapiner for the Raiders. Kyle Flanagan, parallel for the Dragons. If you happen to be doing any of the 10 card sets that have a logo, I quite like what they do where they put the first 8 or 9 teams on the first page logos, and then you just have the 9 player cards in each sleeve until you get halfway through, and you put the remaining 8 there. So there's all different ways to make it work. Women's NRL or Raiders Checklist. Isaiah Yo, parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Harry Hayes for the Bulldogs. Jerome Hughes, parallel for Storm. Logo in the middle, yeah, there's another one. Even the 9 card sets. There you go. Dad's just let me know Australia Post is updated. They will be open tomorrow. Rising Stars, Wailani Montgomery for the Titans. Micah Sivo, parallel for the Eels. We might need 2 cars for that delivery. Only about 300, do you reckon? Season to remember, Renato Militalo for the Sharks. Bulldogs, parallel checklist. Converters, Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. Alexander Brimslin, parallel for the Titans. Yes, I'm pretty sure everyone would enjoy to know that they will be going out tomorrow. Fan phase, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Lindsay Collins, parallel for the Roosters. And we're talking about it. If they opened up today, but the stuff wasn't getting collected because the sorting centres were shut or whatever, and we rocked up and a few other people like us rocked up, their whole back room would be chockers. They wouldn't be able to move. Jocelyn Keller, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Warriors parallel checklist. So with all the unknowns, I sort of understand they weren't open. Rising Stars, Ethan King for the Roosters. Then you have the other issue, is the staff able to get in at the moment? Tommy Dearden, parallel for the Cowboys. The shop might be okay, but doesn't mean the staff can get there. So having a day off to assess the situation probably wasn't a bad idea for him. Rising Stars, Jai Gray for the Rabbitohs. Wouldn't like to be them tomorrow though. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Yeah, well that's 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Monday with no no drop off. And our fan faves in the priority team, number 26 for the Cowboys, Josh Ellis. Congrats, mate. Nice card. Xavier Savage, parallel for the Raiders. Club Heroes, number 33 of 33. Olivia Koenig for the Roosters. Roosters have come through at the end. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Sione for now for the Dragons. Max Plath parallel for the Dolphins. 5th last packet for the break. Don't forget we have 5 randomisations to do. Season to remember: Tommy Talau for Manly, Jake Jablevich parallel for Manly. We have the bronze showcase header card, or group card they call it. Showcase of alarming kick out for the Bulldogs. Blake Brayley parallel for the Sharks. We also have the silver header card number 13. And we also have the standard out of the packet showcase group card. The $100 gift card. Sanua Taruva parallel season to remember for Panthers. Dylan Edwards parallel for Panthers, trying to get too much out at once. So yeah, $100 gift card and the Wayne Pearce Legends signature. Fan phase Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Bryce Cartwright parallel for the Eels. Lucky last for the break. Here we go. Rising Stars, Evie McGrath for the Tigers. Jacob Preston parallel for the Bulldogs. Alright, let's go, guys. Everyone is already loaded in and ready to go. There we are. I will do a copy just in case, so it's an easy paste. Here we go. 3 times round the merry-go-round for the bronze showcase a group card. Here, number 1, number 2, and lucky last. Number 3, Jai Thornton with the Panthers. Alright, let's reset and do the silver group card. Number 13, just a reminder on that one, guys. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3, Aaron Livingston with the Dolphins. Alright, our standard showcase group card. Load everyone back in. There you are, ready to go. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3, Matt Bennett with the Storm. Alright, before we do our Legends signature, we are going to do our $100 gift card, which means I need a pen and paper. Alright, load everyone in. Second last one to do. Here we go. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. $100 gift card, Dolphins, Aaron Livingston. Alright. Lucky last, number 25, Wayne Pearce Legends signature card. Here we go. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3, William Goodger with the Roosters. Congratulations, mate. Thank you to everyone for being a part of it. And I hope to see you all again soon. Don't forget, new breaks list.